You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touché and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
I wouldn't say we have too many or any, to be honest, kind of like episodes or things which, our fans want, they kind of like look forward to. But recently in our YouTube comments, which we love when you leave, like we love, chatting to you guys, be it myself and Charlie, or the Go Time Dolphin social media team. People have been saying, when's I always call it Charlie's 24. When's Touché 24 coming out? And here it is. Sometimes there's no need to kind of like, do a long monologue. To sometimes just get straight to the point. So before we kind of delve deep into Touché 24, Charlie, how are you?
I'm cooling, man. Cooling, vibing. Check for me when I'm flexing. Cooling,
This is like your show, like it's named after you. Like this is you. Like I know I kind of say how you kind of like don't maneuver around the pocket and all that kind of stuff, but dude, we need a perfect game from you today. Like if Touché 24 doesn't go off, there's only one person to blame. The blame is solely on your shoulders. Are you ready for that? Have you I know you go gym, but have you done your shoulders recently to make sure you can carry that weight?
See, I do full body every day, Kadeem. Something you might not never know about. Full body. I don't do shoulders and back and chest and biceps or triceps. Nah, I do full body every day. I'm trying to get right. How?
No, so why?
Oh, why? Because I might not be able to make it to the gym certain days, so I don't want to miss a day and then I miss my legs. You see what I'm saying? I miss leg day, and you see what I'm saying? So I try to go when I do go. It's all the time. Full body all the time. That way, if I miss a day, nothing got missed. Like no section of my body got missed. See what I'm saying? You got, cross the T's, dot the I's, dot the J's, cross the Q's, baby. We here. Hey, it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touché. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. And like Kadeem just mentioned, it's Touché's 24. For those who are not familiar with Touché's 24, again, I'm Charlie Touché. This is a list of 24 draft prospects that are coming out in this year's draft that I believe have the potential to be household names, but they're under the radar. So these aren't your guys that everyone's talking up and this guy's going to be the next best thing. That guy's going to be the next best thing. These are 24 prospects that I feel like aren't getting enough coverage in the media. They're not getting enough recognition. They're not on everybody's like, we have to grab this guy list. And this is the we have to grab the guys list of Charlie Touché. Some notables from the past 2020, 2021. Friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, he was on my Touché's 24. Paulson Adebo was on my Touché's 24. Trey Smith, he went to Kansas City in the 6th round. He was on my Touché's 24, right? So you're going to find people on this list that they're going to hit. And then I'm going to say, I told you so. You should have listened to Touché's 24 when it came out. Shout out to Asante Samuel Jr. was on my list. He's booming. Can't think. I always get tangled up right here. I can't remember some of the people. Michael Carter, running back for the Jets. Rondale Moore. Yeah, man, we had some pretty good lists before, and we're going to get into this year.
So
hold on. Antoine Winfield Jr., Jeremy Chin, two of my favorites. But go ahead, Kadeem.
Well, I was just going to say, like, as you was talking, I was trying to find last year's graphic basically, so people can see, who made it, and obviously, as it kind of happened to be, I guess, one of Touché's 24 ended up being a Miami Dolphin. Friend of the podcast, Javon Holland. We say it enough, but I don't think some of you are really listening. Go back and check out the episode. Friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, the snowman himself, joined, Go Time Dolphins, and he gave it his, the Javon Holland seats, the Javon Holland seal of approval. Like, how does it feel to get recognition from the snowman himself to say, yeah, that list is nice? Well done.
Not only did I get to speak with one of Touché's 24, he came on the show and then he said, I co-signed this list, basically. So to get a co-sign from someone who was not only on the list, but he's a Miami Dolphin and the whole world knows he's one of the best safeties in the league now, I felt really good about that. So when the new Touché's 24 list comes up, hopefully I knock him out the park. Shout out to Antonio Gibson. He was on my 2020 list. Shout out to Laviska Shenault. He was on my list. So without further ado, let's pull up Touché's 24 2022 and we'll go through it, Kadeem.
So, and again, like just we give shout outs where it's necessary. Shout out to the main man 5 Yard Lee for just this perfect. Like, I love the graphics, I love the color scheme, and all of that. So this is, I say that because mine. This is Touché's 24 for 2022. Like Charlie said, 24 guys who, and I think it's keen to like you said, to make a point of it. The draft is such a thing now where every single person gets mentioned at some point. There's no unknown, like no one goes in the 5th round. It's like, who is that person? I have no idea who. Like that, we've gone past the stage of that now.
Yeah,
like you said, the whole point of this is these guys are dudes. These are guys who should be getting the same amount of coverage as some of the other guys. And like you said, someone like Javon Holland, it's like he didn't get the coverage which you generally felt he deserved. 12 months later, everyone's like, yeah, Javon Holland's a dude. Like, how did he fall and stuff like that? So that's, Touché's 24. I can say for myself that I think 1, 2 people I've kind of heard spoke about, but again, not to the extent that you feel that they deserve. So, I'm not here to steal any of your limelight. This is you, man. Like, I'm here to give you your flowers.
No.
Where would you like to start? Do you want to go with the number one guy? Is there anyone in particular?
So here, we'll leave this list up. If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, we have a graphic up. Like Kadeem just mentioned, shout out to 5 Yard Lee for doing the graphic. Kadeem mentioned before that I do graphics and 5 Yard Lee does graphics for Go Time Dolphins, and we're the only 2 people. If you ever seen a graphic on Go Time Dolphins, it was either me or 5 Yard Lee. I'm gonna be very clear. If it was a good,
I done a few last year. Let's not do this.
So if it was a good looking graphic, it was 5 Yard Lee. Just know that.
Yeah.
If the graphic looked good, it was 5 Yard Lee. If it was another graphic, it doesn't matter who did it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to 5 Yard Lee. So this is where we're gonna start, bro. Man, there's so many players on this list. For example, I'm gonna go with Jaylen Tolbert, and we'll leave the list up again. If you're listening to the audio version, check out the list. Check us out on YouTube. Share, like, and subscribe. Jaylen Waddle jersey giveaway will be mentioned again in this episode. But Jaylen Tolbert is a receiver out of South Alabama. This man is the Devontae Parker, in my opinion, of this draft. Now, we're not going to queue up no highlights of him, but when you see Jaylen Tolbert play, he's very possessive. He's a possessive receiver. He plays big. He plays tall. Always catches the ball away from his chest. He uses his hands. You always see him going out like this. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like, big body, knows how to use his body as a receiver. To go to a small school like Southern Alabama, he was projecting like 4th or 5th round. Now I expect him with the combine and the workouts, and people starting to get turned on to who he is, he's going to work his way up into the 3rd, and I would not be shocked if he's in the 2nd round. Jaylen Tolbert, South Alabama. Like, you don't see people from South Alabama going into the 2nd round. So the first person we're going to pull up highlights of, Kadeem, is Cam Taylor Britt. Now, Cam Taylor Britt is a corner from Nebraska. He's a corner from Nebraska, and he was projected to be like a 4th round pick. Thing about Cam Taylor Britt is he's 6 foot 196. Is he an island quarterback? Can we put him on the corner? Can we just say, hey, we're gonna double everybody else? Cam Taylor Britt is gonna be off by himself. No, I won't put Cam Taylor Britt on the island by himself, but I feel really good about him. I feel really good about not having to worry what's going on with Cam Taylor Britt on the other side. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, you got some Cam Taylor Britt highlights coming up. We behind the scenes, we got some production issues, but my dog Kadeem's going to fact check, stat check, and get us right. Cam Taylor Britt is a handsy corner. He's going to be in your chest. He's not going to give you room to breathe, and you kind of want that out of your cornerback. I remember when Noah Igbenogany came out, everybody was like, oh, he's very feisty. I didn't like the feistiness because he was always getting beat in his highlights. I'm like, man, yeah, he's getting beat. He's in your chest, but those are penalties. Cam Taylor Britt, on the other hand, he don't get those penalties. He can still be feisty, still be in your chest, and not get those penalties. Listen, anyone listening to this podcast right now, when you get a chance to see Cam Taylor Britt's highlights, he's a dude. And I don't like the way everybody say, oh, he's a dog. He's a dog. He's a dog. Listen, this man is a dude, right? So we got the highlights working now on Go Time Dolphins YouTube, and I could just sit here. He's gonna tackle. I could just sit here and watch this film. Like, I forgot that we have a show, but this dude's gonna come up. He's gonna tackle. He's not one of those corners that's not gonna get dirty, chop you at the legs all the time. He's gonna come up, make the tackles, make the plays, be in your chest. Look at this. Easy money. Go up for the ball, come down with it. If the ball is in the air, it's 50-50 with Cam Taylor Britt. Like, who says that this ball is supposed to go to the receiver? That's Cam Taylor Britt's mindset. Like, if the ball is in the air, this is mine too. I don't have to let the receiver get this ball. This quarterback's throwing it to me. So Cam Taylor Britt out of Nebraska, 6 foot 196. You can expect him to go late 2nd round, early 3rd round. He's shooting up the draft board. And the Dolphins need a corner. So if we're picking late 3rd and 4th and we need corner help, I can see a world where Kadeem over here ad-libbing because he's looking at these highlights. But I can see a world where Dolphins say, hey, we're going to use our 3rd and 4th to move up the board because Cam Taylor Britt slid into the 3rd round. And I would absolutely love that. You got Byron Jones and Xavier Howard under big money contracts. You get a rookie like Cam Taylor Britt to come in. You got him for 4 years. This man is a ball hawk. Kadeem, I'm going to need you to pull up David Bell. And before Kadeem pulls up David Bell, or while he's working on pulling up David Bell is a receiver from Purdue. 6'2", 205. I want to be very clear about David Bell. David Bell was projected late 1st, early 2nd. Now he's kind of fallen into the late 2nd somehow. I don't know who is doing their I don't know who's looking at the film and saying, David Bell is not going to pan out. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you come to that conclusion. I'm going to tell you why. I mentioned David Bell about 5 episodes ago, and I didn't want to spoil you Touché 24. But here's the thing about David Bell. He also catches the ball away from his hands, away from his chest with his hands. David Bell is that player in Sandlot football where you said, I got David first. Like, I'm the one who's getting David on my team, right? Then he went to school. Every school he went to, they won a championship. Some type of championship they won. David Bell, right? So then he goes to Purdue, same school that Rondell Moore went to, and performs as the number one. Look at this highlight, catching the ball away from his chest. Look at this, easy money.
So I know you're talking, but I just want to quickly rewind that. The separation number 5, like, dude, like, where are you going? Like,
Bruh.
nope, there you go.
So look, I want to be very clear because Kadeem didn't even catch that. That's Taylor Britt.
That's why I paused. I went back. I was like, hold on, wait. I'm like,
so look,
I was like, wait, whoa.
So David Bell in this highlight that Kadeem caught routed up Taylor Britt. It's all good. Taylor Britt get it back. I have no worries about Taylor Britt, but this is a testament to David Bell's route running. And I don't know if we're going to get to this highlight in this clip right here, but bro, there's a highlight where David Bell is running like a seam or a skinny post, and he falls down. While he's falling down, it's a good ball, by the way. Quarterback put it on the money. While he's falling down, he falls on his knees, and he just extends his hands, and the ball, like, no type of bobble, no type of second grab of the ball. If the ball touches his hands, he's gonna catch it. It's that simple. Did you rewind that, Kadeem? Rewind that right there. That one right there. Easy money. Falling backwards, falling on his back. Easy money. Let me get that. So if you're listening to the audio version, this is the episode. You have to check us out on YouTube. David Bell. If David Bell finds a quarterback, like, oh, Aaron Rodgers need receivers, right?
On my life, I was just thinking Green Bay.
Listen,
my life.
If Green Bay made that trade with Devontae Adams, they have multiple picks, bro. If David Bell finds his way to Green Bay or Kansas City or one of these quarterbacks that know how to put the ball where it needs to be, David Bell is going to be a perennial Pro Bowler. No doubt about it. Have you heard of David Bell this offseason, Kadeem?
Not at all.
Not even a whisper, right? So just get the ball in David Bell's hands. He's going to do what he got to do. He's going to route you up. He's going to catch the ball. He's not going to drop it. Like, this is a football player. I like to say he's a football player. Football player. And David Bell is a football player. Now, I've been wanting to come up with a terminology for this, and I haven't really gotten it. We're going to talk about Kyle Phillips, Kadeem, to get you ready. So, Kyle Phillips, before you pull up the highlights for Kyle Phillips, Kadeem, Kyle Phillips is a receiver from UCLA, 5'11", 191, redshirt junior. And before we pull up the highlights for Kyle Phillips, there's a disclaimer, because I have to say this, and y'all know how I feel about this, and our prejudices in the United States of America. Kyle Phillips is one of those receivers where there's like a prejudice perception deficiency. He suffers from PPD. You know what I'm saying? PPD. Prejudice. Oh, you know what? Pigmentation perception deficiency. That's what we're going to call PPD here on this podcast. Pigmentation perception deficiency. Made it up right here on the fly, Go Time Dolphins. So my white friend Kyle Phillips is a receiver at UCLA. And the only reason you don't know who Kyle Phillips is because he's white. Roll the tape, please, and thank you. Kyle Phillips is a shifty receiver, 5'11", 191. All you got to do is give him the ball and let him go to work. Again, bam, pull up on the dime. You feel me? Like, come on, bro.
I'll tell you what, it's like, you know what? You know what? Yeah, I'm pausing it there because what you're watching right now, and rewind it again, what you're watching is, I would say LB throwing me the ball, but LB, I heard he's not nice. So this is LB, Kadeem hands. There's Charlie. Charlie, the floor. No. Hamstring gone. Game over.
Stop.
And he's still, listen.
Stop.
That's what I'm saying.
So listen, Kyle, keep the tape rolling, please. Bro, Kyle Phillips, if you get the ball in Kyle Phillips' hands, we're watching a punt return right now. If you get the ball in Kyle Phillips' hands, it's like one of those, the first person is always going to miss. No doubt about it. the first person will miss when you're talking about Kyle Phillips, my white friend from UCLA. Gotta love it. Yards after catch is a statistic for Kyle Phillips. All right. So again, if you're listening to the audio version, check us out on YouTube. We got highlights of Kyle Phillips right now against his USC game. Look at this man. Finds that his vision is impeccable. Doesn't get enough credit because he doesn't look like me and Kadeem. That's unfortunate. That's a prejudice that needs to stop. When Christian McCaffrey came out of college in Stanford, he should have won Heisman. Did he? No, he didn't. That's crazy. Like, white players in skilled positions are underrated. They just don't get the credit that they're supposed to get. And this argument could go in a couple directions, how black quarterbacks didn't get the credit that they're supposed to get. So let's flip it over and give these white boys some credit in skill positions. I don't even know how many white cornerbacks there are in the league. It might be one still. I don't think there are any left. But shout out to Kyle Phillips. This man catches the ball. All he needs to do is get the ball in his hands, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap for the first defender. It's a wrap for him. He's not going to get him. No doubt about it. It's not. In all of these highlights, I don't even know if the first defender has tackled him. We'll keep looking just a little bit more to see if he ever gets caught by the first defender.
Well, I was going to say, like, and I'm not trying to even like catch you out or anything like that, but it just going to translate at the next level where dudes are bigger, stronger. Like, and again, I'm not saying you're going to come up against Javon Holland every single week, but if he comes up against friend of the podcast Javon Holland, is it going to be like you were nice in college? This is the big boy league now.
No, I get it. So here's the thing about the receivers that I mentioned. Here's the thing about the receivers on this list, actually, on Touché's 24. Translating to the next level it has to happen. It's a prerequisite. Like, you don't make Touché's 24 list if you you just did that against 17, 18, 19-year-olds in college, 20-year-olds in college. Bro, this man's skill. Look at this. This is out of the backfield. This is the Deebo Samuel role. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's on Oregon, by the way.
Hold on. I've got to see how many, like, you talk about, making the first guy miss. So I literally want to count this. So it's like, we'll go, this is no, like, dude, you know what? This is like, one is bad tackling. But this guy here, like, I don't know what you're doing. Like,
yeah, straight up.
Yeah. You know what? This is very much...
what we just watched was basically a jet sweep. No, it was a power. Well, it wasn't a power sweep. It was a sweep. He lined up in the backfield, and he's not Deebo Samuel size at all. He's like a little bit bigger than Albert Wilson for the Dolphin fans. He's a little bit bigger than Albert Wilson. So he got a pitch in the backfield and just ran for 30 yards off of pure speed, and a corner had him lined up, and he just ran right past him, couldn't make the tackle. Dog, this is what translates in the NFL. This right here, you catch the ball, you avoid tackles. That's what the NFL is. Yak. You know what I'm saying? So I have no doubt about translating into the NFL. If we were going to talk, especially him and David Bell, both. I'm not worried about separation. I'm not worried about drops. I'm not worried about none of that. I rock with Kyle Phillips, but it's the person who I'm about to pull up next, which is Marcus Jones. Before you pull up Marcus Jones, can you pull up the list again? The Touché's 24 list again, Kadeem?
You're killing me. Yeah.
My bad, bro. My bad. Before you pull up Marcus Jones, we're going to look at the list one more time. And here's why we're going to pull up the list one more time. I don't know how tacky or cringe it would be if I said, if I called somebody a lock. Like, this is like, I had like a tacky phrase for it, but the reason why I wanted Kadeem to pull up this list again, shout out to the graphics for 5-Yard Lead. Marcus Jones is the graphic. Is one player on this list. There's one player that we have him pictured on the graphic, and that's Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones is at the top of the list. The list is not in order, but I wanted to highlight Marcus Jones, and this is why. This is very important for me to say. All right, we could go ahead and pull up the highlights. This is very important for me to say. I believe Marcus Jones is the most underrated player in the entire draft. When it's all said and done, and we come back 4 years later, we're going to look in the 2022 draft and say, why did Marcus Jones go all the way into the third round? On everything. Marcus Jones, the reason why Marcus Jones is going to slide is because of his size. He is 5'8", 185. I'm going to repeat that. He's 5'8", 185. That's not big at all. Now, here's what's important about Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones is a corner out of Houston. And if you just heard me and you're watching YouTube and you say, what do you mean he's a corner? I just seen him line up at wide receiver. Yes, you did. Because he plays offense too. So remember when the Dolphins lost all of these receivers and we're playing with practice squad players? You could have just took Marcus Jones and put him in the slot and say, hey, go ahead and get off. This man is a pure athlete. This is the stuff you don't show your high school kids because they won't be able to simulate it. Marcus Jones' abilities and athletic abilities are not of this world. And I'm not just saying that. There's going to be a clip here shortly where I'm going to tell Kadeem to just rewind it. And here's the thing about Marcus Jones. He's a corner. Can he play outside? Yes, he can. However, I would not want him to play outside in the NFL. You got size. You got quarterbacks that put the ball placement this on the money. It's going to be very hard for Marcus Jones to play outside. But he's so agile because of his size and his frame that he can get off in the slot. So he is your day one nickel corner. You don't have to sit him for a year. You don't have to tell him how to learn how to be a professional. Marcus Jones is a day one starter in the slot. The hardest position to play on defense is nickel corner. And I'm telling you, you could put Marcus Jones at nickel corner on day one. So not only does he play receiver sometimes, he's a returner. And this is the highlight right here. Look at this. Go back. There's a little side step that this man gives in this punt return. He's returning the punt if you're listening to the audio, and he just shuffles real quick. You can't coach it. You can't coach that. So the foot is a little bit choppy. You guys are gonna have to check it out on your own. Go to YouTube, hit up Marcus Jones's highlights, Marcus Jones, Houston highlights. Man, to put Marcus Jones in the slot from day one for the Miami Dolphins, Kadeem, it's everything you need. You have Nick Needham in the slot right now. Justin Coleman went to Seattle, I think. I forget where he went. I know he went to the NFC. So Justin Coleman is no longer here. Yes, you have Javon Holland that you could put in a nickel from time to time. I prefer to have Javon Holland and Brandon Jones be our safeties. If you bring Eric Rowe in to be the tight end stopper, you could put Holland in the slot. And you also have Nick Needham, who has made leaps and bounds. But Marcus Jones is the answer for the Miami Dolphins. You have Xavier Howard. You have Brandon Jones, you have Xavier Howard. You have Byron Jones. Now you can have Marcus Jones in the slot. Bro, I don't even, you don't understand, Kadeem. If there is one player from Touché's 24 that I want for the Miami Dolphins, it is Marcus Jones. If there is one player on Touché's 24 that will automatically make your defense better for any of the 32 teams in the NFL, it is Marcus Jones. If Marcus Jones falls into the third round because of his size, everybody's going to say, oh, he's undersized. Is he going to get, bullied in the slot? 4 years from now, we're going to play this clip, and Charlie Touché is going to say, I tried to tell you. Let's go to the next player, man. Oh, you got something you want to throw in there, Kadeem? What you thought of those highlights?
Yeah, listen, the size is always going to be a concern. But if you can ball, you can ball. He's definitely the one who I probably will go back and, try and catch a bit more tape, all that kind of stuff. I also think, and this is the other thing as well, is that the tape can be one thing. Sometimes you kind of want to go listen to like an interview with someone as well, kind of. And again, we're not speaking to people face to face or anything like that, but to kind of get a gauge on, the person and stuff like that. So no, Marcus Jones looked nice. I think of the guys you've shown so far, the kid from UCLA, he's the one I'm just like, you imagine having, you're lining up. You got, Mike Gesicki at tight end, and then your three receivers are Waddle, Hill, and is it Phillips?
Kyle Phillips.
Like if those three are your receivers, and Tua and his accuracy, literally any one of those hands, it's a problem. It's an absolute problem. So he's the one I was like, okay, cool. And this is a very, very, very lazy comparison. But I'm looking at him, I'm just like, Hunter Renfrow. White wide receiver, and he's nice. But Renfrow is nice. But Renfrow coming out was kind of like, really?
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, like there's a route where Renfrow routes up Xavier Howard like he doesn't even exist. And I'm like, yo. So seeing Phillips route up one of your boys as well, I was like, okay, yeah.
Pigmentation perception deficit. That's a real thing. Listen, Kyle Phillips is better than Hunter Renfrow. Renfro's cool, but Kyle Phillips is better since we compared him to a wide receiver.
Oh no, that was me being extremely lazy and saying, oh, wide receiver. Yeah. Cool, fair enough.
So last but not least of the highlights we're going to show, it's funny because this receiver is better than Kyle Phillips.
Dude, don't say that.
He is, bro. Listen, this man is the human switchblade. Y'all heard me mention him at least 4 or 5 times already. 5'11", 185 out of University of Kentucky, Wan'Dale Robinson. Like, and we might not, we might take the highlights down because we're having internet issues. But
I don't think that's a me issue. I think that's the quality of the thing issue.
No, I don't. Bro, I've seen this video 100 times. Like, I'm sure. Yeah. Listen, Wan'Dale Robinson. I want to be very clear. Wan'Dale Robinson can be. Matter of fact, if Wan'Dale Robinson goes to the Chiefs, he will replace Tyreek Hill. No, he will. Oh, there we go. See, I told you got better quality. I told you, Kadeem. So if Wan'Dale Robinson goes to the Chiefs, not only would he replace Tyreek Hill, he's not built like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is legitimately he's an issue. He's built. Wan'Dale Robinson can play receiver. He could play running back. You throw him in the slot, he's gonna get jiggy. Wan'Dale Robinson is more. Go ahead.
As you said that, get jiggy, dude. Whoever this kid is at corner, like
no chance.
He's gone. Like,
no chance. Look at that. No chance.
He's gone.
One more time for the boys. No chance. That's how I leave Javon Holland at the line. Shout out to Javon Holland, friend of the podcast.
He's gone. Like the footwork, yeah, it's done.
No chance.
It's finished.
No chance. Wan'Dale Robinson there's 2 players that I wanted for the Miami Dolphins. Before we made that trade for Tyreek Hill, there's 2 players that I wanted from the Miami Dolphins. And that was David Bell, because he could replace Devontae Parker, or it was Wan'Dale Robinson, because if Jaylen Waddle went down, Wan'Dale Robinson is your switchblade. You could put him at running back, you could put him at receiver. And I remember about a month and a half ago, I told you there's a guy coming out in the draft that, Lynn Bowden Jr. could play running back, could play receiver. Well, this is Wan'Dale Robinson. This is Lindell Bowden Jr. 2.0. I believe Wan'Dale Robinson is better than Lynn Bowden Jr. And if you see the Dolphins, let's just say Wan'Dale Robinson falls. Let's say David Bell has some type of off the field allegation. Like, now I don't even want to put that on David Bell. But let's say, dude, no, hold on. I don't want to. Hold on, listen.
Just give him a gas mask.
No.
That's it.
So look, David Bell comes out with the gas mask video and falls to the 3rd round. I guarantee you the Dolphins will be there to take David Bell. So David Bell, Wan'Dale Robinson, they're 2 of my favorite corners in this draft. Wan'Dale Robinson's always going to be open. every single time. The difference between Wan'Dale Robinson and David Bell, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's going to be used like Debo, like Cooper Kupp, all over the field. You got to find him. David Bell is just an X. He's your number one receiver. Put him on the outside. Let him go win. So we seen David Bell beat my guy, Cam Taylor Britt, but Cam Taylor Britt also comes back and does his thing. So, man, iron sharpens iron. And this, I'm so proud of this list, bro. You have no idea, Kadeem. Like, this might be my best Touché's 24 list. If we could pull the list back up, I just want some honorable mentions. I got some honorable mentions. People that didn't make this list, and I'm gonna tell you why. Cam Jurgens didn't make the list. Cam Jurgens was on my list, and I had to take him off because he became too notable. People started realizing who Cam Jurgens was, and I'm like, all right, he can't make the list if everybody knows who he is. Another person that didn't make my list was Matt Ariza. Matt Ariza is a punter from San Diego State University that also kicks field goals. True story. The man kicks field goals. And I think he's the only punter ever in the history of football that has over an 80-yard punt and 2 made field goals in one game. Listen to that. That is,
I would say very quickly, Dolphins Twitter loves him.
yeah.
Like, you see a lot of mocks, like literally third round, first pick, there you go. Like, when we signed Thomas Morstead, the punter, everyone was like, why would you do that for? Because, you know, and obviously, like, you've got to do it, but I know Dolphins Twitter to this day are like, nah, dude, that's a dude. Like, go get him straight away.
So we'll keep this list up here, but man, there's so many people on this list, and I'm just Zamir White has 2 knee surgeries. He was the running back behind James Cook at Georgia. Zamir White is bigger. He's a bigger every down back. James Cook is more slight in frame. Zamir White going around the 4th, 5th round, he's going to pan out for a team. And then someone's going to say, well, how did Zamir White make it to the 5th round? And it's going to be because they didn't trust his knees. But Zamir White is a running back. He's a running back's running back. If I was to compare him with somebody, he's probably similar to Leonard Fournette, but with better ability to shake you. You know what I'm saying? He's not the size of Leonard Fournette. Like, he's not going to run through you all the time, but he'll shake you down. Josh Pascal, he's a DN, but he's more of a run-stopping DN, right? Cameron Thomas is a DN. Him and Boye Mafe, which they're both on my list. Cameron Thomas and Boye Mafe, I have to mention them because when we go back and say, oh, you didn't even mention this guy that was on your list. Well, I can't mention all 24 of these guys because we only got so much time in the episode, but that's why I put them on the list. But Cameron Thomas and Boye Mafe, both of them, when we were talking about moving on from who's our Emmanuel Agba? Boye Mafe, ready to go. Plug and play. Cameron Thomas, ready to go. Plug and play. So shout out to everybody else I didn't mention. And before someone comes at my dome about why is Kenneth Walker on this list, Kenneth Walker III is a running back that transferred from Wake Forest to Michigan State. Before we get out of here, the reason why I put Kenneth Walker III on this list, and you can take it down, Kadeem. The reason I put him on this list is because I believe he's the best running back in the draft. I believe it. He is the best running back in the draft, but he's not completely under the radar. So I put him on there because he's not getting talked about enough. So is he under the radar? Maybe not, but Kenneth Walker III will prove to be the best running back that came out in this draft. And I didn't mention everyone, all 24 of Touché's 24. We brought up the list a few times. We'll put up on our social media at Go Time Dolphins, so you guys we could have receipts and y'all could check receipts. So now we've had this podcast for going on 3 seasons now. We have Touché's 24, 2020, 2021, and now 2022. And I think this is the best list yet. Before we get up out of here, Jaylen Waddle jersey giveaway. Here's how you can win. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Leave your jersey size and also the position you believe the Miami Dolphins will draft first. So with our first pick, whether we trade up or trade back, with our first pick of the 2022 draft, what position do you think we will pick? Leave that in the review as well. Leave your jersey size as well so we can get you your jersey size to fit. Screenshot it and send it to us on social media at GoTimeDolphins. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touché. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time.
Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
So yeah, we was talking about Matt Ariza, Kadeem, and real quick, I just want to tell you how Matt Ariza is the punter from San Diego State that also kicks. He's also a kicker, and it's not like some little bit of sometimes he's a kicker, something not. This man can do both. And the stat that I mentioned during the episode was a little off. So here's the actual stat. Matt Ariza, the punter, is the only punter ever, or is the second. He's the second punter ever to have over an 80-yard punt in the game and over a 50-yard field goal in the game. That has happened only once in the history of college football. Matt Ariza did it twice in 1 month. Matt Ariza. So yeah, man, that was Touché's 24. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. I appreciate everybody like waiting for my list. And it's funny because we just started this podcast a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, we should have a Touché's 24, and I'm gonna just put it out there. And I wasn't gonna do mock drafts until afterwards, but now we don't have any picks to do a mock draft with, so it didn't really matter. And next year we'll be back on the mock draft tip. I'll mock up some stuff for you. I had some pretty good mocks last year that came to fruition, and who knows what the team would have looked like had we did some things different. But that's here nor there. Touché's 24. I really like this list. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. We out of here.